heard that you If I heard that you If I heard that you If I heard that you
making history. Absolutely phenomenal.
And Ace is the champion of the Intel Extreme Masters World Finals.
Storm's still not quite done. MC is going to take this fight, though. 3 seconds left.
Last 2 rounds of matches got to start it well for ESC.
And this is a massive move for Zez, but he's not content with just a Nexus kill. He wants to win.
And it's all done. Astralis winning.
Unbelievable Rogue with a 4-0 victory over Classic.
And they did it again in the grand finals. It's no move.
Give it up for your Intel Extreme Masters World Champion.
What is up, Counter-Strike enjoyers? We are in here for the IEM Dallas Europe closed qualifier, the last spot available. Already had 4 teams qualify in, of course, here, Neo, and yeah, we've been waiting for this one. Let's just say that. It has been about a week or so since we had that last game. This one was scheduled to go, I think, last Wednesday, but they couldn't make it in as, of course, Astralis here, facing off against Heroic. Astralis had to travel for PGL. So, yeah, very, very excited to get into this. A lot of anticipation and kind of a banger matchup as well that I don't think people would have expected coming into this closed qualifier. The rest of the teams, you'd put Heroic, you'd put definitely Astralis towards the top end, and therefore having already qualified. So it is somewhat of a surprise to see them down here, but exciting nonetheless.
I'm really looking forward to this. I think there's a lot to offer up heading in towards this game. I mean, it's kind of in a funny way, it's sort of Heroic 1 versus Heroic 3 in terms of the cause. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we get out of this, right? I mean, in particular, of course, I think for Heroic, they've actually been slowly but surely ramping up, right? We get some decent wins in the online scene, and now, of course, trying to convert that into LAN performances as well. Whereas Astralis, as much as it's been funny to hate on them, right? Let's kind of, no shine around it, right? This is a side that have had a lot of hate watchers. They've actually been playing some decent Counter-Strike, right? The wins over Big and MIBR, you can take a lot of solid kind of performances from there. Even some of their losses, that Falcons one, pretty close at times. Pain as well, a kind of a tough side to put away. So I think for Astralis, they're slowly starting to find their form and starting to find what level they can play at. However, we still have to get now an Astralis who qualifies Dallas, right? They should have done it. What do we call it? Like the main stage, right? That loss against BC game, which kind of cost them the spot and put them in towards the lower bracket. That was not expected at all. And having to go through all this lower bracket slog is a kind of a tough spot. We do have a veto as well to bring you. So let's crack kind of right in towards that one. If they're going to get banned out, pretty simply said, that one's sort of expected. Anubis on the other side, permaban's out the way. Now we get picks coming through. And there's a few ways. The Mirage makes a lot of sense. 3 wins out of 4 for Heroic. I feel like is a very good map for them to go in. On the flip side, an Ancient's not been too bad for Astralis. They've been liking that. And we're going to get a Nuke, in fact. So I kind of like that. Nuke has still been... It's taken its time for Heroic to get into that.
Yeah, for sure. It does feel like both teams angling towards punish picks rather than, maybe a bit more recency bias and things like that. We also have to look at this in context for Astralis. They've got a playoffs berth coming up just tomorrow. So, maybe there's a little bit of logic in there that they want to try and work on a couple of maps, feel confident in general against Heroic, regardless of where we end up. And that decider of Dust 2 here will, of course, be required. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. I think 3 maps is where I kind of see this one going, to be honest with you. There's a lot of potential that this could come close. I think, like you say, Heroic have looked a little bit better online. I think we, again, have to give credit to sort of the team behind this squad and behind the sort of choice of players and whatnot. So in particular, I think now has a really great record of finding gems and making them work, or has, some kind of a team structure that he can just implement into any kind of lineup. But on the other side of things, I think Astralis have been steeply ramping up in the past week alone, we might say. You highlight the idea of BC game being sort of a surprise loss there. Even in the lower bracket, they drop a map to Zero Tenacity. They drop a map to Bet Boom, right? Which I think people would kind of look at that and be like, maybe not quite the perfect run, but then the way that they've been playing at Cluj, again, maybe not super clean for sure, but I think a lot of people would have had them quite obviously, quite evidently on hate watch is kind of the only way to put it, really, and not expect them to qualify through, but they of course did. So, and a really clean win in that 2-2 Swiss stage. So I think that this should be a close game given where the strengths of these two teams are at. And then we're going to see Astralis, right? They've obviously had a little bit of time off and some time to prepare, as well as being in the environment, as well as all being together. So I think that could bring a very, very strong game from them. But I like the look of Heroic, and if they can play to that more relaxed kind of environment and used to playing online, pressure off, right? There's some really, really solid pieces here. I think Some Pius has been looking good. Xcloud is kind of the guy that stood out a lot, but it is Tanir who has really been the monster of this team the past few months.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, as well, when you're looking at it, I feel like there's maybe slight advantages for Heroic in the sense that because Astralis have been, made that kind of deep run coming through and towards Cluj, it does mean that essentially they've had to kind of have their mind in two different places, right? Preparing for the Mongols, preparing, of course, for this game. You'd hope that all focus would be on this. For Astralis, they need to be at Dallas, right? They're still in a spot where it's about contending at that top level and proving that you deserve to be there, but of course they still have to come through these qualifiers, ultimately. And I think this is the big thing for me. I really want to see a bit of solid, at least consistency after Astralis, which seems to be something that's eluding them. I was thinking at one point when that veto was running through that we could get a train as that decider, because it's a map that has not looked terrible for Astralis, but when you actually go in towards the details, and we even saw one against Zero Tenacity, they've won 2 out of 3, which is not bad on paper compared to the 0 for Heroic, but they're actually super close. Those 2 wins are 13-11s, right? So they were struggling to get them over the line. I think it was basically a risk versus reward here. Let's go towards this Dust 2 and just try and, at least have a little bit more comfort coming in towards that one. But it's a hard game to kind of predict heading in towards this. I think Astralis will come in as the on-paper favorites. I think especially with that Cluj playoffs run, that's obviously always going to help. But Heroic have really proven that they can actually live up and kind of, I guess, fight up and scalp some pretty big names as well. And we've seen that. I think you mentioned Tanir, and that story in itself is actually really interesting. Tanir was basically a stand-in for Nilo, who didn't want to commit to team immediately. He wanted to take a little bit of kind of a personal break before committing in, but he's been so good that Tanir is technically fighting for a spot. And, what better motivation to fight for your spot in a tier 1 team by continuing your top performances and also making Nilo's life a little awkward now, because I don't even know if Nilo's actually better than Tanir right now. So it's a super cool team. You get some Pius on the level that you want to see from him. Again, just Saw proving how good of a coach he can be as well. He's really got that kind of Ash notoriety around her about finding youngsters, breeding them into these top level players, and then if you want, well, as Heroic have also done as well, selling them off for a hell of a lot of cash and keeping the lights on back home. So all in all, I like this team a lot. I think they're cool. The ex-Sangal core, I was actually worried when they initially got picked up. It was understandable why it got picked up, right, for VRS rankings as a core, but I always thought Jota was the main player over towards that Sangal team, but I think you're spot on. Exiles look absolutely fantastic. I've loved what I've seen out from him. Youngster's a really good couple of moments as well, and when you put in the additions of kind of Tanir, some Pius, LNZ, he's got a lot to call around. So this team's exciting. I think they're really cool. And I think more than anything, there's no better motivator. Screw the Dallas spot, right? Heroic just want to just beat Astralis. They want to, that is the thing that's going to fuel them a little bit here. There is a rivalry here, no matter which way you put it. As much as Astralis will try and ignore it because they're always on the losing end of it, Heroic love this rivalry. They love this matchup. The social media game is probably as good as it gets, right? And yeah. I know for a fact they're going to be having an absolute field day.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Once you don that Heroic jersey, I think, there is a little bit in there. It might even be in the small print of the contract that it's like the main rival is Astralis. It's potentially something that, we lack a little bit in esports. CS has more history behind it, so it might be a bit easier to angle for. But yeah, those rivalries and the player rivalries might be there a little bit, but then also everyone's like friends, you know what I mean? Like everyone's cool with each other for the most part. Yeah. So they don't really get played out, but this is like definitely a healthy organizational rivalry that, I think will sort of keep going on and make it very, very interesting, to kind of watch. And there's a few more stakes behind it that, we might look in future and be like, right, last time they met, it was a Heroic victory. That's the first one in the past 5. Can Astralis return to it? So, that'd be kind of cool to sort of keep track of. And this could be one of the games that catches the attention, as we've talked about. It was sort of covered on social media and whatnot as being, a pretty cool game. And the fact that it's delayed, the fact that there's pressure there, you go on the page, it's like everyone else has got their spot. And then 5th, 6th is still open. There's a bit of intensity behind this matchup, and I think that it hopefully will deliver. We're big fans of both squads and the way that they've been playing, but certainly as more sort of in the birth of tier 2 at the moment, I think watching Heroic kind of makes us a little bit happy that players are still getting chances. I think we've maybe had a bit of time, especially over the past few years, where teams are just kind of trading top players and trying to make them work and, swapping about and stuff and not taking as much of a risk on tier 2 talent. And then if they do, it's like, maybe the more liquid method where they sort of pluck people that are not as well known and maybe like mechanically look good, but have not really proven themselves in a team environment or whatever it may be. I think that Heroic have done a really good job here, not for the first time, of picking players up that, you know, have some history together, have also worked in many different systems. You know, LNZ, Sunpius, I think are players that have got lots and lots of experience to pull from. But we are into the action now. We were a little bit on fill mode there, of course, as we were just waiting for everything to get going, but it's still underway here now.
Let's go. I'm so excited for this game. There's obviously been, you've built it. There's been a lot of tension coming into it. And there's the big man himself. Tanir will crack things open. Cadian gets caught. What a start for them. One spotted back default. Just the backpack was there. But Tanir, a second behind it. Nade will do well. A lurking Palace player with device gets a double. Hang on a moment. Youngster and X-Flower, may I say, are in a tough 2v2. Look how low Down is. Down he goes. And Yabi left in a 1 versus 2.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Just didn't have the position that they needed to help out Device. Yabi rings those nades in. Not really going to do too much for him. And it's X-Cloud to come in from the side. The double swing was certainly there for Heroic. It got a bit dicey in the middle. There was a nade frag and then 2 from Device. But like I said, just no support for him, unfortunately. So Heroic will see it off.
Yeah. Wow. And it's the 2 players that we highlighted as well each. You know, you highlighted X-Fire coming in towards this one. I brought up the kind of a bit about with Tanir, and I think, you know, both of them have an incredible starting towards this pistol, what you want to see. And I think this is the beauty of how Heroic can play. They will play this like a pug if they have to, right? And they are so happy to sort of drag you in towards this really scrappy affair. You know, Astralis always want to play this real meticulous style of Counter-Strike, which obviously works very well for them. But in a pug, Heroic do back themselves. They are so confident, these youngsters. And they're hitting towards B as well. A lot of other damage. That scout is tagging. The pistols are bagging as Yabi opens it up.
Yeah, this is where it's going to get a bit scary. I think a big part of the conversation will be around Astralis being a lot warmer.
Yeah.
Having those high ceilings that we like talking about at the moment, right? And a round like this is really, really going to prove that. Very sort of dynamic team at the moment, it feels like. Few options. Few different players that can come alive. Top of Tanir's head not spotted there. So he may well catch someone off with how advanced his position is. In the same vein, Stair is holding. Tanir going to go flying out the window. They got to clear Stair. He finds himself another and another. So looking very, very good indeed on that Deagle. Super clean. Astralis get the force buy. Don't lose a single player there now.
All right. That is one of those for Astralis, which is an immediate way to shut down that confidence that felt like it was brewing for Heroic. Real puggy pistol, everyone's looking crisp, and you immediately get eviscerated in towards B. I don't love CC force buys generally, and I know you've heard this to the end and back, but that is one of the few times where I come out of that and say, that was an incredible force buy. You play it perfectly. The scout tags them up, the pistols see them off. That's the way to go about it. Play as a bit of a pack, play together, and just hope you can soften them up for each other. Beautiful stuff. So, flash over. X-Flower caught by it. Takes a pop shot with the Deagle. That'll give away his position. But swinging is difficult. Left eye peek. It should be messy, and it will be. Deagle pulled out and a tag on towards Tanir. 2 versus 4 very quickly. Oh, hang on.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Tanir tagged down low. I don't know that it's necessarily going to happen, but they have space for a bomb plant now. If they can thread the needle. So, could kind of work out for them. Astralis start to pull back. But they are unsure. They are very, very unsure. The player to watch, of course, is Stair, and where he has his eyes. At the moment, it is around middle. So they're looking to stick together. I think they think that the bomb is perhaps down somewhere. Oh, my goodness. That is way too close for comfort. Definite bomb plant now. You know, with locations confirmed.
You'll take that.
One good shot is going to be enough here.
There it is. There it is.
We'll see. We'll see. That's the lucky shot. He still needs something high here.
Come on.
Something difficult onto Stair.
Here's the steps.
Quick headshot has to land. I mean, Stair has absolutely no idea where he's at, making so much noise, trying to cover as much ground as possible, clear the locations out. Doesn't have a kit. Importantly, and Tanir's going to take him down. Oh, my goodness. We said this game was going to deliver, and it certainly is so far.
Oh, welcome to the server. Oh, my God. What a round. Oh, Heroic. What a round to win. It's another Tania masterclass there from him. My God. Astralis are going to be left reeling, letting that round slip. It's arguably worse than the round that Heroic lost. And so well played. Those shots are unbelievably crisp. We're going to fight ramp here. I don't always love this. And we'll retract, drop a Molotov, get out of there. I love these force line wars to start off, though. It really keeps you on edge. But if Heroic can go 2 for 2 here in quick succession, it will break that CT side economy, and that gives you a lot, right? That will help out in terms of just stabilizing this game, but also just giving you a nice buffer zone, right? It gives you a bit of breathing room, and it allows for Heroic to start, you know, playing around with their T side a little bit. And then if they are to win this, especially if they can win it quite comfortably too, next round to follow shouldn't be that expensive. And then when you go in towards the following gun round for Astralis, it's a bonus buy for Heroic. So again, there's still not a huge amount of pressure there. This is an interesting fight. There's a box player spotted now.
Down up close, not support behind. It's a nice move, really nice move from Astralis there to just net the first. It does leave a vulnerable, so we're going to see whether or not they can find the retake. Ultimately, the man advantage will help, but again, they are kitless, they are ultimately utilityless. Really nice smoke as well from the T side to just keep them at bay. So some very heads-up plays from both sides. I think you can tell immediately both teams do indeed want this. They are putting their best foot forward from the minute go. And xFly with the double spray down, I think, will bag this one for Heroic.
Yeah, that's that. Pull away. Just keep on what you've got. Reuse these 3 and towards the next. You can actually, technically, if you wanted to, force buy it again back into it with double M4 and then MP9. A drop of some sort can come through, even if it is just like an MP9 or a FAMAS, and you can, I don't know, maybe make it work. But I think ultimately, for Astralis, if it was me and I'm making the call here, I'm probably just saying maybe go for an upgraded pistol, but nothing more so needed there. Do have a tech pause though, following that. Astralis for them, you know, decisions to be made here following this tech pause too. I would personally be going for a lesser buy here. Maybe like, you know, like a 5-7 picked up by Cadian or something of the sort. But aside from that, I don't think there's too much of a need to force buy in here. Get the full guns out in towards the next round as much as you can. And even still, like a double M4 and an MP9 buy can still be pretty scary at the best of times. So maybe have a little belief in them. If Cadian and Stown can soften up a couple, who knows? Who knows? But nonetheless, 3-1 start for Heroic. And there's that breathing room we were talking about. It did start a little scrappy, but I kind of like that in terms of the response from Heroic. You lose that top mid control towards boxes as your sort of player goes down, but you immediately capitalize on another part of the map, knowing that it's going to be understaffed, and it was, right? They just walk out in towards A, no one's home, smokes come down, simple bomb plant, and then a nice post plant too as they push in towards CT. Good work. So we do get that 5-7 like I spoke of for Caden. He's actually gone down to a 1k, but with a bit of loss bonus, he should be okay for a level of a buy in towards the next. Heroic. You'd want them to be getting a 4th here, though.
Oh, absolutely. But nothing is certain, it feels like, in this game. Again, Astralis with some advanced movement, some proactivity. It is good to see, and this is maybe the Cadian method coming in as well, known for kind of revitalizing the CT side in the online era, so we'll see. Unfortunately, not really going to land anything into this round. They send Stown with the USP as information. The rest of the squad will quickly start to discover that it is the B bomb site. Yabby, 3 heads from bench. Looking for a little bit more. He's dropped the bomb, and now he's playing it really well. Stay alive as best he possibly can. A mini dink coming in onto youngsters. A flank from xCloud. Getting a bit weird. Dare has to move forwards. A good recovery here from Astralis. From Heroic. And suddenly it's all on Stown. He's spotted out in behind. Surely goes down here. He's only got a USP. He finds one. Wait a minute. Isolated Jules for the USP here.
Time.
No armor. Low time, yeah. I mean, he could play around that for sure.
Oh my God.
Trying to force a few fights. Really playing with fire. xCloud doesn't have any other options but to go B. The Molotov will push down forward. 3 HP. Holy hell, he survived a lot there, to be fair to him. And again, it's a very costly round for Heroic.
I think Astralis can take silver linings there, in all honesty. You know, that's a round that you don't reinvest into that much, and you're walking over 4 to 5 kills. You can take some silver linings, and it makes this next gun round not that bonus that we were speaking of, but a full buy. So this is actually quite an interesting one. Bar X-Floud and maybe a little bit towards Youngster, this can be considered a swing round. So winner of this, especially if Astralis were able to deny a bomb plant for Heroic, that would massively help. And the flip side, Heroic win it, not only do they get the 5th, but the 6th sort of gets gifted over a little bit as well. So, big round here into round number 6. This is one of those rounds that could have a huge play on how the momentum starts to kind of play out in the midway through this first half.
Yeah, big start. So, Astralis again, looking for a bit of aggression. Device just goes swinging in, dodges the bullet, and takes down Sun Pius. Pretty nice find, pretty dangerous move considering he was already half HP. The Heroic are not watered. Molotov comes in, it's a great push forward from Stair. Works beautifully, the trades are here, but it is of course the 2-piece from Device overall that's making the difference. Man advantage for the CT side with a flank coming in behind as well here.
Alrighty. 2 versus 3, but an MP9 still in place. Down. Oh my god, this is such a dicey timing play here for X-Cloud. The definition of stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's probably going to get caught in a moment. Actually, both of them will probably fall too. But the first and the second as well by Stown. Good work. There was a moment there that I felt a little bit uncomfortable. Thankfully, the timing works out perfectly for Astralis. So a really important round to be winning for them. And like I mentioned, I mean, look what you kind of get for Heroic to follow suit. They're going to go in towards that AWP for Sun Pius. Yet to get a kill for him as well. And an AK out for Youngster. But then around it, it's a little weird. I would probably generally have been going for like a double AK buy from X-Cloud, who had around, you know, 6k, and then sort of try and make some movements with, you know, Youngster picking up an AK of his own. You have 3 rifles to work with. Maybe somebody has to take a hit with like a 5, with a Tech 9, may I say. But either way, or AK. And then what else can we even pick up here? I mean, like, do you actually really want to be going for a Mac 10 in this sort of spot? Would it be better to have a pistol and util, especially if you're like your Tanier here? We've had attack pause to discuss it nonetheless, but I actually think this is quite a bold investment by Heroic to really commit in towards the AWP. They've got a lot of, I guess, a lot of weight on the shoulders of Sun Pius, as this team kind of often does. And he's obviously started a little slow, so a lot of faith in him that he can find his form here and towards round number 7. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, kind of an interesting move as well, just as a core idea. I suppose it's getting above this smoke is what they're looking at. But I would have figured they'd have a bit more of a game plan around the AWP rather than just send it mid and hope someone carelessly walks out into him. He was spawned towards A, so I thought, okay, maybe we're going to get like a fast A, little bit of the mini ramp boost. Oh, but he's just playing mega aggressive right now, not ready for Stown down below. Takes his head clean off, and with that, it feels like a pretty heavy price. You know, most of the round crumbles with Sun Pius. It's also completely isolated, so they can't really trade him out. They lose another to this mid-aggression. Astralis in the groove for this round, looking very, very good. And I think Stown understands his mission, that they will be after this AWP, putting a lot of resources into getting it back. Device following in the footsteps of his fallen comrade, but in comes the AWP, in comes the AK, and suddenly it's all fallen apart. Kills across the shop, and a 3v1 out of nowhere.
It's there. Upgrades to an M4. X-Cloud is low, but still it's the other 2 behind that make you feel a little bit more unlikely. Kit collected, smoke collected. He's getting all the upgrades. I'm pretty sure he was now spotted as well, so that should confirm things. Flash to come over towards short. I don't know if Stair actually wants to give this a go, in all honesty. Keep hold of this AK-47. It looks like he might do a bit of a proactive exit play towards apartments, but I say that, and he's completely getting out of dodge. So it will be Heroic up to a 5th, and Stair, tail between his legs, just has to get out of there. He doesn't really have too much of a choice. Really good round, though. I think in particular from X-Cloud, there's a lot of heavy lifting there. Still yet to see Sun Pius come alive, but he gets caught off guard with that mid-play. In the end, doesn't punish them too badly. And the fact that it is, at least for now, I don't think anyone's going to stick around for the bomb. So yeah, it's going to be, you know, 3 staying alive. That's actually massively important for them. Really helps the economy. helps the feeling as well for this Heroic side, who are still looking good on this T side, and keeping that 3-round buffer zone and just keeping Astralis enough away that you don't get that much pressure on your shoulders just yet. You know, especially when we look at the veto, Mirage, it's a bit of a must-win, I think, for Heroic. All my expectations are that Nuke is just going to go towards Astralis, sort of regardless. So I do want to see just something come to fruition for Heroic. Get a Mirage under your belt. Maybe make a bit of competitive on Nuke, but I really expect Astralis to be taking that one and then have that confidence to be like, okay, we did enough on Nuke that we got confidence there. Let's now see if we can close this map number 3. And this is a series that deserves a 3-mapper as well, without a doubt, especially with the narratives around these two sides and, you know, this being kind of basically the not basically, it is the ex-Heroic core versus the new Heroic core and all of those storylines, that rivalry of best Danish organization, etc. It deserves it. Hang on. Tadir! He overlooks him. He jumps over him. A little hurdle maneuver, but it cost him his life. His stay gets both.
What a mess. What an absolute mess. And I mean, yeah, it has really, it feels like kept Astralis in things. KD and a stray bullet is enough. Bomb goes down. There's hardly any way that they're going to be able to get that back as well. 3 in towards CT. It's dropped quite nicely for them. A big nade onto 1 individually. Sun Pius is trying to get a bit of an angle, debating whether he goes up or not. He's lost his teammate. 1v3 going to be required. No scope, to be fair, but it is too much to ask. 1 bullet at a time is never going to be enough there. Astralis will be right back on.
Oh my. That was potentially on the brink of being a little weird. Thankfully, it ends up being okay, and for Astralis, a nice recovery there. But I think, you know, you hate to kind of pin it on one man, but I really feel like if Tadir just doesn't... obviously, that flash does a lot of to him, right? He's a little blind as he's jumping out of Palace. If he clears Stair, who was full blind, that's probably an easy round 1. That's your A anchor gone down, and then you can set up a post bomb behind it. Unfortunately, Tadir jumps over him, overlooks him, Stair gets 1, then gets Tadir on top of it, and... well, you know it, Gonzo. Molotov does make his way down the ladder. Tadir is out again. This time he is doing the clearances, and unfortunately not working out. There's no one close enough.
Oh, again with the CT plan. Price can't find him. The smoke break, however, is pretty good from KD in there.
No way.
No way. Goodness me, this is such a risky move. But Tadir takes it by the balls ultimately and wins out the round with the AWP. I mean, I was just talking about the 2-piece. Goodness gracious me, this just does not stop. The back and forth is ridiculous. The amount of low-buy rounds that are being won here is unreal. Astralis, straight back, you know, to square one, unfortunately, here, as they are down to the pistols again.
Yeah, this is just an insane game that we're getting. Every single round is a movie in itself. As I'm pretty sure as Martin Scorsese would say, absolute cinema. I think it's him. Is it him?
That's the bloke in the picture.
Yeah, there we go.
Whether he's ever said it.
Yeah, well, he does, said it.
Who knows?
I'm assuming he
for
did.
many years.
Oh,
he must have done.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
does the beam come from?
Exactly. But nonetheless, really shows how not much of a movie buff I am.
Yeah.
He's
just known as Cinema Guy now. You know, I don't know that people know him by his actual name. He's just Cinema Guy.
Just absolute cinema guy. And this game is absolute cinema so far. But of course, for Astralis, unfortunately, that cinema should be quelled a little bit here. It's a low-ish buy... Well, it's a full buy round, but low in terms of the level of guns they can bring to the table. Double Deagle 5.7, MP9, and a FAMAS. It's not fantastic, but it is a lot of A presence. And with that bomb heading in that direction, it does worry you a little bit. And let's see what the clearance is like. A flashbang goes past him. X5 and Tadir, 1 apiece. Not a bad start. Is it clear close left? The answer is no, but Device can't hit the shots.
Yeah, looking good here. I think Sun Pius takes a dink through a smoke. But ultimately should be fine. Bomb is down smoothly. And losing any kind of player for Heroic is going to hurt, but I think just one will not be too bad, really. Are the Astralis boys grabbing a save here, or are we looking for some more active kind of exits? Question that I think will answer itself. It looks like Heroic are not really going to go their way. But it is, of course, his 7th round now for Heroic, and a pretty comfortable first half. The question of how far it goes is now the one that we raise.
Yeah.
And I think could quite easily get themselves to 8 here. Sunpius goes down to the bomb. A little bit of a whoopsie, not quite calculating the damage accurately. So that's the AWP that goes missing, by the way.
But the good news is that Astralis have no ability to get an AWP themselves. They are broke. Force brought in towards the last. They'll be calling their first time out as well. Heroic already guaranteed a lead heading in towards that, what is generally seen as the more preferable CT side on Mirage. Not a bad spot that they're in. And I think you can kind of see, especially with this tac pause, the pressure that is on the shoulders of Astralis. This is a real world in Heroic. You know, even for me, if they were able to get anywhere in the region of 8, just one more round of this T side, I think they are unbelievably happy with this start. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but Heroic are happy to play a sort of scrappy, puggy style of play and sort of drag you into the mud a little bit with it. And I feel like for Astralis, that's the type of Counter-Strike that does just make them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, big start. So maybe getting problematic again, as we've talked about in the veto. As people may well be aware, this is one for the punish pick and one for Heroic to expectedly be winning. I think when it started and Astralis, you know, wrestling back a couple of rounds, we're like, okay, well, maybe once they get actual rifles, things will go well. And I don't know that we've had all that many full-on rifle rounds, you know, where there's not been someone on a lower buy or a weaker weapon. And it clearly does make a big difference here.
Oh, that just ever so slightly tipping towards down. So he's a known quantity, and now a dead quantity as he's 6 feet under. This round is being, you know, slowly but surely secured into place here. And I kind of respect the due diligence from from Heroic, may I say. You never really know where Astralis could be in this setup. Just don't give them anything. They get one Constellation kill on towards a low player of Youngster. You're pretty happy with that, all in all. And they've hit 8, so I'm also happy as well.
Yeah, I think so. Really, really good spot to be in. We're going to see whether Astralis can sort of get that bare minimum of 4. I think certainly you'd want 5 to feel comfortable, but yeah, this is kind of your 10-5 maybe. I don't know. It's tough to quantify, but picking up 4 and just getting that last round at the turn of the half as well is always going to be a good feeling. And again, full strength for both sides. Maybe a lack of an AWP for Astralis, but ultimately no excuses in terms of the buy. This time around, nice nade to kick things off.
Youngster, wait inside of that smoke. Go quick though, they're going to try and scale up in towards B. 2 players here to meet them, a third actually not too far away as well. This setup's pretty devious from Astralis. The Molotov going to push out the bench player, but low window goes Canadian. Down he goes. Same for Device getting caught on the drive-by. What a B execute from Heroic. Stair will find one of his own, but this round should be concluded.
It's crazy, man. They're just so explosive, so capable of finding quick headshots, particularly Tanir and Youngster, right? xCloud, I think, has been super consistent, but it does feel like Youngster's been on a lot of these entries. Sunpius will close things out 9-3 at the turn of the half. Heroic looking really, really good here. Astralis has yet to wake up. We'll see if they do in that second half. Hello, everybody. Welcome back in. Second half getting underway here momentarily, and I think we are chomping at the bit to see how this goes. Can Astralis turn things around? Not really had any presence into this game. A force buy win after the pistol sort of got us on the edge of our seat and excited for what they might bring, but Heroic looked really, really good. A great variety of methods into the rounds, right? But very, very explosive at the end of the day. Some great post plants and potentially looking indeed a bit more comfortable on this map as was expected. But a fresh start could be everything here for Astralis.
A pistol round. You get that, you kickstart again. Not a good start though. X-Cloud and some pious, crispy shots for trying to hit towards B. And you're already down to 3 for Astralis, so times are tough.
Yeah, not the best start. Not what you wanted at all. They have dished out some return damage, so it could turn in an instant, of course. These Glocks. So very deadly. So very inconsistent, but there you are. Tanir's going to find the long-range headshot. This device goes a bit too wide.
This is weird. The goal goes really quiet, but the remaining 2 for Astralis, I don't even really know what you can do. Like you mentioned, there's some damage that at least on towards X-Cloud and some pious makes them weaker, but that was an opportunity and one slightly squandered by Cadian. It does find Youngster. That's one of the higher HP players gone, though. How may be doable. Today, I'm not sure how he doesn't spot him. He was probably tunnel visioning towards window for that jump out. And then see, backside, back pillar, waiting for his chance. He's still not peeking. Time ticking, waiting for the drop down, which he now hears. A swing here, and Acadian would have been caught, but an opportunity might have been squandered. Tanir will still find his kill. They know where the last guy is, and LNZ tags up a little bit. Unfortunately, there, nothing he could do there. 10-3. Heroic are running away with Mirage, and they're doing it at breakneck pace.
Yeah, that is very, very true, I think. Moving really fast. Very, very confident in themselves. And yeah, playing the match, not the occasion, to borrow one from football, of course. And I think that absolutely feels like the case here. We said that the online realm just a bit more preferential for some of these Heroic players at the moment, while they maybe find their feet on LAN again. And this is also where they've been sort of grinding it out, because not quite in that top 16 bracket just yet. So a bit more work to do before they're, you know, guaranteed the invites and whatnot. So they're going to be more comfortable here, and it's showing. It really is. But again, I'm curious moving into the next map how they feel there, because that is sort of a return punish on them. And the Astralis Nuke, obviously famous, but at the moment is looking really quite solid.
Yeah, exactly. Still, this round, a risk of a force buy for Astralis, of course. Force buying, if you get a bomb plant, it's pretty standard. Without a bomb plant, though, of course, doesn't allow you to bring a hell of a lot to the table. So, 3 Tech 9s, 2 Deagles. Tech 9s in particular is what scares me. Molotov can be set up for in ladder. That'll go deep. Allow them some control there, but they're going to get the first with ease. And there's no real need to peek in towards Yabi. Tanir's having to fight through short, though. And he can maybe even stop them scaling in towards Connector, or X-Cloud can meet them there. And meet him he does. 2 quick shots and a shutdown as well. Last man remaining of Yabi is and should be dead momentarily. Tanir sees him off. Beautiful round of Counter-Strike. Against that force buy, make it look easy. None of this back and forth as we saw to start off this map. Heroic are rocking and rolling through this game, and as that was a force buy, Astralis can't do a lot here. They either force buy again in towards this one and try and play to win, which is highly unlikely, or play for overtime, which also, funnily enough, Scriv, is highly unlikely.
Indeed. I mean, you know, Heroic have
Yes.
farming right now. It is part of the Heroic, I think, is to get those 2 players working. We'd maybe like to see a little bit more of some Pius, I think, but he's obviously not been needed as much. And maybe forcing the AWP a bit too much on that T side.
Sure.
But this is just getting crazy now, getting out of hand.
I think as well, you know, we are sort of in Heroic's domain. Like this Sangao core, the amount of reps that they grind, and Tadir as well, to also be mentioned, you know, these are online grinders. And for Astralis, sure, they've had to come into the online realm this year, i.e., you know, through these sort of qualifiers and stuff, but it's a whole different ball game to land. If this was on LAN, you know, you'd obviously be sort of leading maybe the other way, but this is Heroic's sort of tempo in a way, right? You're playing online Counter-Strike. They know how to play very, very well from the comfort of their own home.
It is showing. It is showing massively. And we do start to worry for Astralis' future, not only on this map, but kind of also into the next. I think the fresh slate will be really, really good. And maybe just a few rounds ago, it's a great spot to have a fresh slate. But, I mean, look at that, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe he does have a bit of assistance and it's a bit difficult, but they've not even touched xFloud. And he finds both of them essentially 2v1. Maybe another half a second he would have had that support in from some Pius, but still, he's done so much and barely been punished. It just really feels weak, you know. Astralis not comfortable at all. And that seems to be, I think, the word of the game so far, is just that comfortability really coming to a head. And at a point, we were like, okay, it's a bit back and forth, it's a bit close. But Heroic have just been absolutely non-stop for a good while now.
What a showing. What a showing. That point in your own map pick at this sort of fashion is a beautiful place to be. Today wants to swing in towards Pity, wants to support xCloud. Spam does soften up Stare a little bit. That'll help. It is now or never for Astralis, and the road to recovery for them on Mirage feels next to impossible. I think, you know, part of it is maybe even just saving the mental a little bit for your own map pick and sort of waiting for Nuke and just saying, right, just do whatever we can here towards Mirage, but all focus and all prep is now looking towards that second.
Yeah, absolutely. In the same vein, though, you give Heroic a lot of freedom in that sense, because they will be feeling very, very confident and just sort of having a lot of space to work with obviously dominating this map. So they'll go into Nuke, maybe not expecting to win out, but that could make them an unpredictable beast. This one started all too well, of course. Tadir getting the catch. It's all down to Yabi, 1 versus 5. Never got going here. He's been dinked through walls, and he will be finished off in the end. 13-3. Heroic absolutely trouncing Astralis there, where indeed we had touted this one being a bit more exciting and close and potentially 3 maps and whatnot. I still think we should get 3 maps, but that is an incredibly one-sided affair, and it just at a certain point fell off a cliff for Astralis, right? They were still edging and, you know, getting close to a couple of the rounds. Even if they were losing them out, they'd still have a bit of a retake, and then it's like 1 kill here, 2 kills there, whatever. But all of a sudden it just completely disappeared, and they were a shadow of even the close rounds, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's also kind of hilarious when you look at it and saying that Heroic have just won a map 13-3 with Linus and some Pius going with 5 and 4 kills respectively, right? So, I mean, it just shows the dominance. And I think also the credit has to be given really to one man. xCloud has gone nuclear on map 1 of Mirage. What a takeover performance over. You know, Tadir was keeping up for a while, but those last few rounds in particular, xCloud multi-kills were just a natural occurrence for him. A complete no-show from Astralis is unfortunately to be. And now we're heading towards Nuke with actually, you know, while it's their map pick, so much pressure on their shoulders. You are 1 map away from being obviously eliminated. It's the last game of the IEM Dallas quals, and of course giving up the spot to IEM Dallas to your rival in quotation marks, right? Which I think more so than everything is it would be a bit of an embarrassment for Astralis, but they're just going to hear it on Twitter and they don't want it. So, you know, ultimately a tough predicament that they kind of put themselves in currently, but an absolute masterful display from Heroic. All credit has to be given towards them. That is how you break down a Mirage. And like I said, Heroic, I think their fundamental understanding of how to take down Astralis on that map specifically was perfect. Let's fight them. Let's pug against them. We know they want to play this really kind of deep style of play and go in towards the strategic side of things. We are so crisp. Let's just bank on it and see what we can kind of net. And obviously, it's ended up working out very, very well. Credit to Saw in the preparation and Linus in the call-in. Those mid-rounds were absolutely excellent. We're going to throw this one to a little bit of a break. Next map starting in about 10 minutes or so. It's Nuke coming up next. The good news for Astralis, it's their map pick. The bad news is they're not looking great. Let's see if they can recover in 10 minutes.
What's your name? Lee. Lee, mate, nice to meet you. What's it like being part of the best crowd in esports? If you're not here, you're not living. Let's go, the boys! Hey!
All right, for now, we're going to send it away.
Let's show the world why we're the best crowd! You're champions!
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, Faceit.
Lately, I feel I can't find my feet. Pushing closer, my heart skips a beat, and now I'm falling. Deeper than a fly, I can't control it. Dark against the sky, it's not so black and white. It's like I told him. There's things that I can't fight. I just keep going. I just keep going. In my time, I've been dreaming of a space to really fill my place. I wish she'd seen what I had dreamed.
Welcome back to the IEM Dallas Qualifiers here, folks. We are moving into map number 2, of course. This highly anticipated game that's been a week in the making. Heroic versus Astralis, of course, if you are maybe just joining us. First map, 13-3 to Heroic. Really one-sided affair. A punish pick for sure. Not expecting great things out from Astralis. And, you know, there's Device, for example, maybe not the most comfortable player on this map, but 13-3 is quite something, quite a statement to be sending initially. And now we move on to Nuke, which is the pick of Astralis. It's on the flip in terms of being a punish pick onto Heroic. But with what we've seen, and with xFloud and Tanir just absolutely farming, I mean, this is now an unexpected kind of second map, to be honest. We don't really know what's going to happen here, and if it's going to be more of the same, or if Astralis can get that refresh into their own pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on paper, expectations are that Astralis should be able to take this map, and, you know, not without breaking a sweat, but, you know, it's pretty heavily weighted in their favor. It's just the fact that the vibes in the server, and we love that kind of buzzword of vibes right now, but I think they're so electric over towards Heroic that, you know, it makes you feel like there is a bit of belief there that they can maybe cause quite the upset on the Nuke. And if they're able to pull up a 2-0 here, they're going to love life. It's going to be a big qualification for them, but my instincts still tell me that this should be going towards a decider. It should be going towards 3, but you never know. Right? That was such a dominant display out from Heroic that everyone's looking really confident, or at least your two kind of rifling stars looking really confident in xFloud and Tanir. If you could just get some Pius online, which Nuke is a much easier map in general to AWP on, both on the T and the CT side, this is where things could potentially get quite scary over towards that of Astralis. So, I mean, for them, the whole team just come alive. It just wasn't a good display. We had, you know, some of these individual moments, which are okay, but there was no consistency. It didn't feel like there was that much of a game plan there, or whatever game plan there was got completely eradicated by a quick, fresh, and puggy style of play. So credit to Heroic. Now, it's a tough map, ultimately, Nuke, to try and pug your way into. You do have to have these set strats and these ideas around it. And we know Astralis going to have a lot of their sleeves, but Heroic no slouches on it as well. It's always been a kind of a map that's sort of been part of their identity. These previous Heroic teams have always been very, very good at this map, and I'm sure it's something that Saw is going to want to instill into these boys. So it was probably an expected pick. I think Heroic, they would have known that Nuke was coming. They've had a lot more time to prepare as well for this game. I still have this belief that the way things are panning out right now, this 2-0 could actually be looming.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that's sort of where my head went as well. They've not actually played for like 9 days, you know, since the last time they played in this IEM Dallas qualifier. Then we've also got the fact that Astralis have been playing Nuke quite a lot at Cluj. So it's like we're going to get the best of their Nuke as well. I don't think they're going to have been holding back, you know, in those games and things like that. So there will be a few rounds in there that are a bit fresh, or that indeed you're able to analyze and maybe be prepared for, that it's like it's a round that caught a different team off guard that they might try and use against you. And Saw's done that homework. And again, as we've mentioned, the sort of Heroic coaching staff, pretty extensive and pretty solid at this point. A lot of trust in them, I think, from the players, from the organization, and ultimately in each other. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult kind of game here for Astralis, and I think that they will have to bring some newer ideas even than what they've brought to Cluj, you know, which is a difficult thing to sort of consider. So I think there is a decent chance that this goes 2-0. I think that you want to lean in and say that it should be a decider. We kind of want a decider, you know, to get the most out of this matchup. But I do feel that there is a pretty solid chance that Heroic can just ride the wave of the first map, and that they will also come in very, very prepared for this. Yeah,
looking at stats as well from the top, number one, obviously nobody went positive, and you know, we have 3 players who on single-digit kills. Cadian 4, Device 6, Stair 7. Is not what we want to be. A pistol round start things off on your T side would be lovely. And they're going to go quick towards outside, and some Pies is there to meet them and greet them, and it's a welcome greet with open arms for him and LNZ, who deliver towards outside. Oh no, this is looking more of the same. Astralis, in a matter of mere moments, Scriver left down to 2.
I mean, immediately.
Yeah. We had,
get
10
it
seconds?
proven. But we also just get that point proven to us that they are prepared. You know, they've got 2 at Heaven, 1 down in lockers.
They knew.
And they look so ready for that quick outside burst that Astralis employ there. So, yeah, I think they are going to have to bring something a bit fresh. And whether Astralis can do that here is, of course, another question. It's a very, very different world when you look at your docket and you go, right, we've got potentially a big pain MIBR. You know, you have to prepare for all these teams at Cluj if you're Astralis, whereas Heroic can go, what have we got this week? Oh, we've got Astralis, and not for like 9 days. Okay, let's just work on that for a week then, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's obviously going to make a very big difference. And yeah, they start off with a super solid anti-stratted pistol here.
Start lost. Exile looking for his, but his youngster who nabs it away. Flawless pistol to start. I saw a tweet as well just as we were going live from Heroic, who, as we mentioned, do have definitely one of, if not the best social media out there. And they actually tweeted that performance there from X-File of a 2.63 rating that he just put up, 25 and 6 he went, is his best game of all time. So it's his best map of all time that we've seen from him. So not a bad time to do it against your sort of on-paper rivals, and the qualification to a Tier 1 LAN in Dallas, no less. Place that is a very cool place to go for Counter-Strike. Stair tagged up on the cross and dropped by some Pies. A 1-2 punch there, some Pies and X-Flower, which obviously worked in the pistol and works again here. Interesting as well, Charles go for another force buy on T-side pistol with no bomb plant. I understood it a little bit in that previous game because you already had such a deficit. Why not just take a gamble? But here, it feels like it's kind of a big risk for sort of not a lot of gain, because Heroic are no slouches in these rounds either.
Yeah, it does feel like there is sort of a tumbling of the mental. It's not quite catching themselves. And you don't rightly know where these types of calls come from, if it is 100% Cadian, or if, you know, someone's cooking a bit of an idea for a force buy round and forces people into forcing, let's say. It's not going so well here. Youngster up top manages to net himself too with a bit of assistance, and I think that should lock the round in, catch from Tanir, and it's all down to the big man device. I don't think he will be able to find anything here. He's been spotted now. Longer spray down, but Tanir takes him. That's a flawless anti-force buy. Heroic will easily move up to 3. They start to threaten 4, therefore, you know, and if Astralis are denied bomb plants and whatnot, their loss bonus, their economy is not going to be built in the way that they would want.
That's true. Back-to-back flawless rounds as well. Not bad. No one gone down just yet. Exactly what Heroic want. Building all the econ in this long term. And of course, with that force buy, you know, like we touched on, nothing here for Astralis. So it should be a pretty simple third all the same. They're going to come over, and it slightly softens up the Vice. If he was actually quicker on the jump up, he failed the first jump up on towards Silo. If he was quicker, he would have taken more than 8 damage. So someone looking down on him there in that spot, but not looking down on Astralis, it feels, at the moment. 2-0 and probably 3-0 down. You want a bomb plant here. It's just a nice thing to have. It's a little silver lining in a bit of a dark situation, but even that does still feel a little unlikely.
Youngster investigating. It's actually some pious that nicks it away from him.
That's the bombers, by the way.
A smart move, yeah. I mean, it does't really matter too
apparently.
much. LNZ has just mowed them down outside. Super, super clean.
Yeah, wow. 3-0. Beautiful work. There's actually not really a lot to discuss, right? There is no contest in these rounds so far. Heroic, we're heading into the 4th round and still no one's died yet. So, not a good spot for Astralis. First gun round. This has to be an emphatic gun round. It has to be them coming in, winning it 3, staying alive at a bare minimum, and showing that we've got some ideas up our sleeves. If Heroic are going towards this one on what is technically a bonus fight and make it stick, you know, wrap it up. Let's give him the call spot. Book those tickets to Dallas, boys. Get your cowboy hats. Yeehaw, right? Because that would be Astralis falling to quite the deficit already. Probably at this point, like 5 rounds or so before the next rebuy back in. And it's an awful spot. And this is kind of where Astralis are in. Full buy in. Failure to do anything. You'll even get a bomb plant. Eco. Rinse and repeat. They've got to win this one.
Quick outside moves. Get those smokes down, get that player in a good spot here. So certainly keep your eyes on Stair and what he opts to do. X-Cloud is very catchable. I just don't think that he is considering who could have gotten down. Youngster once again, advanced position in the hut. He's been going for it for quite a few rounds. Makes it work here. Maybe a footstep heard. X-Cloud is 100 credit, but too many targets. Far too many targets for him. A lot of information gained. Good find from some Pious to give them the advantage back. He drops down, gives them that control. He may well have just spotted that bomb carrier as well. So with only 25 seconds remaining,
gotta go.
It's a really nice move. Yeah, this is not looking good at all.
I love that decision as well to fall back here. You know, this angle in towards the lower side of sight is so difficult to clear. Youngster with an AK, swing, and a find. Looks for 2 as well. Doesn't need to fight. All he has to do is buy time. It's a sumptuous round from Heroic. This is beautiful Counter-Strike. This is textbook stuff, right? You know, we've seen some Pies get a kill in towards heaven. I think, as you're right, he probably spots the bomb there as well. And he just drops back in towards the site. You know you've got players to be able to rotate and hold ramp if they are to go for that. But with the timing that was left, we probably have to commit towards A. So you fall off. That lower angle is really difficult to clear. And Cadian, who swings out of heaven to clear some Pious, then leaves himself exposed to Youngster because they've got these setups so solid, these, you know, on that site. And it's really easy work. The trades, this sort of pack mentality, it is beautiful stuff. Flashbang going to come over. Everyone's blind. And they take pop shots. So that's the information he needed.
Tanir on the other side of this smoke, ready and waiting for the burst. Molotov comes in. Oh, he follows the trajectory of the Molotov perfectly. What a kill. He will go down, but he has set some Pious up here nicely as well. Left on 1 HP. Lucky son of a gun. Stair finds the head of 1, but cannot muster any more than that. Heroic streaking ahead. 5 in a row now for them.
Oh my god. This is looking like it is At the moment, back-to-back of real dominant displays coming through from Heroic. What a round as well. I mean, Pius has already done better than he did in towards map number 1, so that's good to see. And I mean, he's out the gates flying here. 9-1 for him. He's looking so confident. Mirage in general, I do actually feel like it's quite a difficult map to AWP on as a whole. I feel like, you know, T-side AWPing on Mirage is it's just difficult, you know, period, because you have to really kind of play this sort of shotgun AWPing style of play. But on the CT side these days, I feel like it's so difficult because all those AWP angles are really equated for. They're either smoked out, Molotoved off, or you're flashed consistently, where it's so difficult at this pro level to set up. I feel like Nuke gives you a little bit more, at least free real estate to roam around a bit, as some Pius likes to do. And Heroic give him so much of the kind of facilitations to be able to do that. He gets a lot of resources, a lot of space, and all the luxuries to be a little bit loose in terms of his playstyle. And it works for him, just because he's so damn good. Exile towards our side, and he's tucked in towards Secret here. I love this play. If he can just stay here for as long as he can, he could gain a lot.
Oh, LNZ, so smart on the edge of the smoke. Can't quite land that second. Bit of a quicker burst here from Astralis. Might be the catch-off pace change that they need. Kills all over the shop at the moment. Awkward molly at heaven means that they can't really get involved from that angle. So a 3 versus 2 with a lot of control and a complete reposition required from Youngster and Pius. That being said, it's coming quite fast. Youngster finds himself in a good spot that I don't think is really being considered at all. Astralis have put the pause on, and is that necessarily a good thing? I suppose we will find out. Slow but sure, they start to move to get this bomb down. It's such a weird guesswork round, I think, from both teams, really. Youngster, you can see now, is fully rotating around.
I was going to say, if Youngster had held over towards single door, he probably wins the round on that alone. Stown was in towards Ven, right? But he's so low, and he has the bomb on his back, so he could have caught him exactly on that cross, right? But not to be. He's still going for the big flank, and this big flank could net a lot here. They might overlook it. It's all about timing. Youngster waiting for his chance. Bomb will go down, planted safe, and now he waits. He's got to wait for some bias here. He's moving his way forward. He's creeping up. This is a pretty decent setup for Astralis. Youngster's got so many angles to clear, swing, and a find. Another player backside that he overlooks, though. And thankfully, Stown doesn't get cleared. It's one man, Pius all to do. There's the first as well. Pius looking for the second. Drops down. AK scooped up as well. Might have a chance. Molotov, swing, and a hit for Pius. What a retake. Heroic are unstoppable right now. Time is close. I think he's just got it, though. I'm pretty sure. So that will be another round for Heroic and a masterful 1v2 for Pius.
Damn, he thought it was front sight initially. He definitely had the 10 seconds, but, you know, overstepped, moved away from the bomb. Good God, that must have been some chaotic comms, you know, someone just screaming that there was a kit in front of vent or whatever. Damn. But that is close. I honestly thought as well he was on the quick switch. I thought he was just going to die, you know, but he gets the AK up in time, so... And thank God it is an AK, right? One tap, etc. Makes all the damn difference. Astralis will be kicking themselves. A very strange round, it has to be said. Heroic think it's B, then they split up, then it turns out Youngster's got a good flank on A anyway. Very, very strange round to deal with, in fairness to them, but still, losing out a clutch like that is never good. Youngster activates up top here. Astralis once again trying to change up the pace, and it just is not working. Youngster is running rings around them at the moment on the top of Hook, and Device will be the last to fall. An easy round for Heroic. 7-0. Where the hell are Astralis?
Not going to Dallas. That's where they are. I'll tell you that for damn sure right now. 7-2-0. Astralis are reeling. Economy feeble. That wallet just full of lint. There's nothing to buy with, really, in towards the next. So it should be a simple 8th for Heroic. What is happening to Astralis? This is not a good indicator for their playoff game at Clues tomorrow either. So... oh my God, this is a incredible showing from Heroic. This decides to me, the way they're playing right now, I want to see them at every tier 1 tournament available. It's so refreshingly quick. Wait, Linus is behind Cadian here. No, he doesn't go down.
Strange. Very strange for him, but Astralis with their first Good looking round, maybe. Well, I suppose that clutch attempt a couple rounds ago, but this is one of the best looking rounds I think they've had all half, and it feels like Heroic not really going to have a chance.
Dare I say, unlosable, Scriff?
Oh, it's a dangerous word to throw into the ring,
especially when you're watching Astralis.
Yeah, but I think you might be right. You called it just on the verge of the Heroic players moving for a save.
Yeah.
So they have indeed given it up. Astralis love a pause, though, man.
Yeah.
5v3 force buy, get that within the first sort of 30, 45 seconds of the round, and now they're just like not moving.
Some Pies coming back. He might actually be able to stop them on the crosshair. If they go for a plant for Hart, this could be a little awkward. It's worrying. There's one. They will get up. That's the one thing
I was see.
Yeah, they're tempted a little bit. I don't actually blame them.
Bomb has been planted.
Blood in the water here. And they will start moving forwards all together. Some Pius feels like he's a bit more isolated. Are they going to be ready for multiple members? Linus can't quite land the shot. Second time of asking, he will get it. Nade is a little too early. Quick little Bogdan's in at the single door. Maybe just keep the pace up here, fellas. Youngster going to find a clean headshot, and all of a sudden we are back on. 2 towards heaven. There are kits. There is a smoke down as well. Just cover the man as he goes into the defuse, and Youngster's going to do it. Finds the final 2 for good measure. But the defuse happened, and Astralis, it's crumbled again. You had to say the words. You had to say the words.
I cast the curse. I dare I say unlosable. I do dare. I do.
They were saving. I don't know that I've ever really seen, you know, that turn of events where someone's called the round already. They're saving. Yeah, makes sense. And then they go back in for it and win.
Why don't we go B? What are we doing? Why are we not going to B? We have killed, a whole team is down secret. We've got vent control because Cadian's come down through vent. We've got both sides of the doors open as well. Why are we not just going B? We had utility to plant as well, and we don't. And just because Yabi lurks up in towards heaven, in their eyes, they're like, right, let's go back up towards A. Why? I do not understand why we have not just planted. Comes back to the thing you brought up as well. Astralis love to call for a pause. On a force buy, you've got 2 quick opening kills. Just a little commitment, guys. Come on.
Especially, I think, at 7-0.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, just keep it simple. Go with the game plan. Go with what works. If you get clapped 5v3, then you go, all right, I guess they are just better than us today. This is going to be hard. But when you make a decision like that and you move back up, and then it goes wrong when, you know, you probably had that B bomb site. In hindsight as well, it's like, wow, we actually had an open B bomb site. You probably could have just planted there. Like, you are going to hate yourself. You know, you're not going to look at Heroic and be like, wow, they're playing really well. You will look internally and be like, okay, we gave them the parameters to do that. We'll continue on with this round, of course, so another sort of chaotic one. Astralis, once again, a little bit against their DNA, are just picking up the pace, trying to move in as a team, and Heroic are rinsing them. Youngsters 14-2, Sun Pius 12-1. Like, you know, just when you thought you'd maybe gotten away from X-Floud and Tanir, Tanir's still here a little bit, but like Heroic just seem to have many avenues, many individuals at the moment that are happy to pop off, and I just don't know what to make of it. Astralis, it is shocking.
Yeah, they are playing, you know, like an open team right now. This is Gold Novas versus Global Elites at the moment. There is no contest. Michael, you stop. Oh, Sun Pius, what a shot. What a flick. Unstoppable, and a leg on towards Cadian. He gets so unfortunate to get the kill there. But he won't miss Yabi, I'll tell you that for free. Last man of Cadian, they know where he is, and they should know he's tagged as well. So 10-0. 10-0.
Yeah, pretty insane. Just when you also thought 13-3 couldn't really get any worse. It does.
Oh, wow. 15-1.
Flawless round coming in as well to net it. Like, it's just ridiculousness.
15-1 for Sun Pius. Take a bow from a quiet map 1. He has stepped up in map 2. Astralis going to use their 3rd and final attack pause. And I guess, you know, for them, 30 seconds is probably enough time to refund the flights. You know what I mean? Like, let's, you know. sorry, Danish Air, we're not going to be needing these anymore. So, I mean, ridiculous work for Heroic. Oh my God, 3 more rounds they need in the entirety of the rest of this game. And, I mean, first of all, if they get a 13-0, that would be beyond hilarious. But it's genuinely a possibility of how badly Astralis are playing on Nuke of all maps as well. And this has got to come back to the conversation that we brought up at Scriv, right? Where we were talking about Heroic have had 9 days to prepare for this game, where Astralis have had, 2 tops, basically? Playing all the way through Cluj, and they've obviously, you know, they're not at home compared to Heroic, and, you know, foreign environment and all the rest. And, well, obviously, their preparation that Astralis have been doing on other matchups, it's maybe overlooked an important one here. What a game of Counter-Strike we're getting from Heroic. This is beautiful. The no refunds meme just keeps living on every single time. X-Fire to open things up on Tiabi. I get more as well. They want to spam. Yeah, they will get it. LNC with a double and the bomb as well. So there's 11.
Deadly stuff. Very, very deadly stuff indeed. Some Pious with the fadeaway round the corner. Just to show that Lady Luck is shining on him this afternoon. Wow. Goodness gracious me. It is hard to look at, man. So you just can't look away, you know?
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to just open Twitter after this game. Just see Heroic cooking. See Twitter cooking. Like, oh, man. Especially with this sort of a scoreline. 3 rounds across 3 halves of Counter-Strike thus far. 11-0 for Heroic. And Astralis coming towards the 12th, the final round of this half, with more Galils than AK-47s. 3 Galils, 2 AKs, and honestly, the one thing that worries me most is how limited the util is. They've got, well, I was going to say 2 flashes, but they're not dead. A smoke grenade and a molly left 2 wheeled, but 2 kills from Stare and Device, and a man advantage, honestly, for the first time in a long time. Since that clutch, maybe.
Yes. It's slim. It's short-lived. Who else but Youngster to win the fight against Yabi? LNZ holding. IEM is facing off.
No!
Whoa!
No!
The quick switch.
No!
There goes your 13-0.
Well,
11-1 is still pretty nice. However, maybe I call it a bit early, as, you know, we have a habit of doing, to be fair, here in the casting booth, apparently. Tanir 1v3 in a pretty good spot. He's got good info on this Heaven player if you can just find him on. The timing, can't quite squeeze it out. Can't quite squeeze it out. That's going to give his location away as well. And surely Stare is like, okay, I cannot give this guy any kills at all. We have to force him in. He falls off the ladder. The intensity and, you know, the adrenaline perhaps running a bit high for both teams, it would seem. Some silly mistakes for sure. Tanir up top has 2 to get through. Double spray down going to be required to even get into the bomb site. As soon as he shows himself as well, there was going to be that swing. So a 3v1 fight, not going to happen for him. 1 round for Astralis. Surely not enough. We'll find out in a few.
Welcome back. Second half underway. And we were straight into this, actually, so let's get into it. I mean, Youngster, this first one could be everything. Device goes already. It was, you don't want to lose that final round, but as a whole, if you can respond very quickly, I don't think you really mind all too much. Heroic. They're scaling in towards A. Yabby in towards Ult. Then gets overlooked. Finally does get the kill in the end. Oh, nice shot from him. Looking for more as well. How is he still alive, by the way? Youngster has to reload, so it allows time for the rotation to come through. What is happening? Bomb goes down. So Pius in a 1 versus 2.
Absolute destruction here once again. Some Pius with the P250. It is definitely doable for him. Just trying to bait in a peek. Unaware of the second player. Start to move forward. Spots one, but Cadian had just crept under his crosshair. So he goes wide enough for Cadian to take the head clean off. Astralis. The first step to recovery is often the hardest. So we'll see if it gets any easier for them here on out. Of course, you have to bear in mind back on Mirage, if you can cast your mind back. It wasn't that long ago. They managed a lot of force buys here on the heroic side.
Yeah, well, did somebody say the comeback is on? I think I can hear it vaguely in the distance. Some completely deluded individual who definitely needs looking at is shouting it somewhere. But
yeah, but that's how it often goes, mate.
True.
You know, the first guy is crazy, and then
a genius
all come on board, and then all of a sudden, in 50 years, people are like, why didn't we listen to that?
Exactly. Well, force fight for heroic. We got a Mac 10 and a few Tech 9s around it. I think Tech 9s in particular can be quite scary here. I would love to just a really simplistic sort of pop play, just kind of work as a pack. Molotov clear out that box. Cadian sort of needs to be a little careful here. I don't want him sticking around too much towards ramp, but at the same time, he wants to get information, and that information would net that they've wrapped in towards hell.
Force down, goes down.
Nice nade.
Aid is good. Only onto one player, though.
No.
They lose another name. Oh, goodness. It's all coming back so fast. Stay. Net one. Still a little bit messy, to be honest. It's not as clean as you'd maybe expect. X-Cloud with a quick kill onto Device. Yabby and Stare, the only two that remain here. They're going to know about Stare. Yabby may well have been heard. He's got a kit available. That is sort of the big takeaway here. Cheeky little boost. Because why not, right? You're so far ahead. You're on the low buy round, and 1v4, it's just not going to happen.
No.
It's just not going to happen at all.
He's getting flanked on Bias. Should see him off momentarily, or Youngster will catch him on the exits. One of the two. Yabby gets one, but a trade out at the end. Forced by a Mac 10 and 4 Tech 9s has just beat Astralis' buy. 12-2. They might just do one better than that on Mirage. Heroic are 1 round away from Dallas, and deservedly so as well. What a display. And all Astralis can bring to the table is Deagles. Deagles, 3 smokes and 1 flash. No kits. Device, 2 and 13. Stound, 4 and 13. The best they've got is Cadian on 7. So, doesn't instill hope in you, that is for sure.
Tiny bit of damage from the nades. But a quieter start here. Heroic, of course, in prime position to just close it out. 13-3 and a 13-2 would be a hell of a record to look back on. And a day that Astralis would do well to quickly forget. But as we've been sort of saying throughout, I don't think the community will. Flashes come in here. Cadian's sort of unaffected by the nades, but Youngster gets out a bit too fast. Takes his head clean off. X-Cloud looking for the timing. And he might just get it. No steps heard. 3 moving in from ramp. He's got to give this a look eventually, surely, but I guess not. And he has completely missed them, so that could catch Heroic off pretty heavily here.
Yeah. Then the bomb is planted for them setting up 4 ramps. So it's going to be actually a pretty quick fight. Momentarily, there's one. Some Bias will find a quick trade from Yabby. Swing and a trade. Can't get a second. Device will deliver. So A 2-on-3 and a FAMAS scooped up. There might still be something brewing a little bit here. I speak too soon. Device goes down. Last man spotted. Heroic 13-2. 5 rounds is all Astralis have got in this series. It's Heroic who booked their ticket, the last spot to IEM Dallas. And Astralis with their donned new garments, all black, the funeral attire for their funeral here in their Dallas hopes. What a display from Heroic. A masterful performance. And there's no two ways about it. That was woeful from Astralis. They were non-existent. 3 rounds in the first map and 2 in the second. For those who like to use the term hate watch, they're thriving right now.
Yeah, I mean, certainly you have to give it to Heroic. And
Absolutely.
We talked about the preparation game. We talked about the amount of time that they have had to work on this one. Astralis, it is a bit difficult for them to give them their caveats and their sort of dues.
Of course.
In the sense of not had that direct preparation time. They're transitioning from online to LAN, back to online, a slow build-up from them as well to make the playoffs of Cluj, which I think is a good result for them ultimately to make it through. There's a lot there that I think Astralis have had to deal with. Today, just not their day, and a hard one, to come to terms with. That being said, I think that they definitely should have performed a bit better, particularly there on Nuke. They have to be hitting double digits. It has to be a hard fight for Heroic to take the 2-0, and it just wasn't. Heroic have played a very good game, individually looking absolutely fantastic, and that's an area in which I thought they would not necessarily struggle, but definitely have their work cut out for them. Sure. A device and a sort of a Stown sort of showing, right, that we usually expect from this team. Just not really there. No one really gets going at all on the Astralis team, and again, it comes through as a bit of a shock, to be honest with you. So, yeah, it's very, very unfortunate to see Astralis not give us that exciting series that we wanted. In the same vein, we've got Heroic on the other side, obviously qualifying through, so congratulations to them on that after a really long, difficult run back. They take down some very, very, very solid names. Big, a couple matches before this one. Then, of course, Astralis as well. So, they've done very, very well, I think, to make it through. But we were also seeing what they are kind of capable of. And yeah, man, it is some of the individuals that a year and a half ago, we'd be like, these guys would never stand a chance against Astralis, and the ilk of players, but they have really, really, really improved over the space of that 12 months.
Yeah, and as a whole now, with this being the final kind of qualifier being concluded, it's worth mentioning the teams that made it through from all of them. So from Europe, of course, Heroic joined the ilk of Falcons, 3D Max, BC Game, and Gamer Legion, who made it through the European close qualifier. From Asia, it was Linvision. From South America, it was Legacy, and from North America, it was NRG as well. So congrats to all of those who are joining, a pretty esteemed lineup. We're talking about Vitality, Eternal Fire, G2, FaZe, the Mongols, Maus, Liquid, and Furia. So already, set up to be an absolutely stacked event, and that was a super cool series to honestly conclude it all. Absolute congratulations towards Heroic. That was a wonderful display from them, and once again sort of reinstating this idea that we've sort of having that this is a side that should be playing in Tier 1 regularly. You look at the performances that came through, shout outs to people like Sampias, who recovered off the back of a pretty slow map 1, even though he wasn't really required.
Sure.
Youngster, same for him. He was a little quiet. Map 1 comparatively fantastic in towards map number 2. Heroic, this side is so scary. The fact that we've got basically 4 players who can all pop off at any given time, and a very, very good IGL at such a young age of LNZ under an esteemed coach of Saw. It's a cool team. Heroic have once again done it again, right? Rebuilt a completely new lineup, and they've made it work. And you just gotta love it. That is kind of what makes Counter-Strike super beautiful. So a brilliant display. Super happy to see this side thriving. And for Astralis, it's back to square one, but they don't even get that much time for recovery. They've got a game tomorrow on LAN, so it's not exactly the confidence booster they would want heading into that arena.
Indeed, I think a lot of people watching today wanted to get a taste of where Astralis may well be at, and unfortunately, they don't really get an answer. At best, you're like, okay, they're just not feeling it coming into today. At worst, it's like, this could be a really, really, really scary foreshadow of what is coming in store. Again, against the Mongols, it's a formidable team, and it's going to be the first time in this sort of super solid, winnable arena environment for some of these Astralis players in a good long while. So we shall see. I'm sure many people will be watching and waiting to see what they bring tomorrow at Cluj. But from us here at the IEM Dallas Qualifiers, that is going to be everything concluded, as Neo says. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you again some other time.
Rafa really making history. Absolutely phenomenal.
And Ace is the champion of the Intel Extreme Masters World Finals.
Storm's still not quite done. MC is going to take this fight, though. 3 seconds left.
Last 2 rounds of matches got to start it well for ESC.
And this is a massive move for Zez, but he's not content with just a Nexus kill. He wants to win out.
And it's all done. Astralis winning. Unbelievable Rogue with a 4-0 victory over Classic.
And they did it again in the grand finals. It's no